This podcast contains discussions of sensitive or potentially triggering topics, including violence, crime, and trauma. This podcast also contains adult language and themes and is not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to B.T.S Behind the Scenes in Business Talent and Success. This is Tia Veazey. She deals with help getting past abusive relationships. Hi, Tia.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. So tell us about what you do and how you help women.
So I call myself a toxic love recovery coach, heavy on the recovery. And I help women like me, specifically late 20s, mid 30s, that have left a toxic relationship already, and they're at a point to where they're ready to rebuild their lives, their physical appearance, their financials, their self-confidence, kind of do the inner work, get to the root of the cause that attracted them to that person or whatever it is within them that allowed the toxic relationship to happen, and work on that. Fix that, whatever's causing that, and then start a new life or a new identity from there, which is what I did.
I love that. So what was your original background?
I was a realtor. I've been a realtor for the last 5 years, entrepreneur at heart. I love to be free and be on my own and do my own thing. So through real estate, you're able to do that. And that really gave me a taste of what I wanted my life to be. And that led me into just feeding my desire to help people more, because within real estate, you come across a lot of people that aren't qualified yet and aren't ready to buy or sell a house. So I kind of help them get from that point, grow, nurture their relationships, fix their credit, teach them how to save money, do whatever you need to do to qualify to buy, and then help them through the buying process. And that's like the biggest purchase of somebody's life, 9 times out of 10. So to be able to meet somebody and work with them from the ground up really gave me true fulfillment. And from there, things slowed down. So I kind of had to readjust what I was doing and just look at my life and where I wanted to be and how I wanted to help people. And this came about. I was able to tie this into a real life experience of my own. And that way I can help people that much more.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what was your background as far as bad relationships went and made you want to get into helping women?
Well, every relationship I've ever had with a man specifically has been toxic and or abusive, including my dad. And that's where it started, right? That's the root of it all. So I figured that out later in my years, probably after I had my daughter. I had her when I was 29, and of course that changes everything. So I really started to reflect on who I was and how I wanted to be a better parent. So that's kind of how I dug into that. And then from there, every romantic relationship I've ever had was toxic. I had really low self-esteem, really low self-worth from going back to the parenting thing. Yeah. So I figured all of that out on my own. I did therapy here and there, but I really did just a lot of research and, self-reflecting and inner work and all of those things. And for about the last 5 years, while I was doing the real estate, I was single at that point. I had left my daughter's dad, which was the epitome, the worst relationship I had ever been in and the most physical abuse-wise.
Yeah.
So that really... that really, going through that, going through having a kid, starting, within real estate, it all kind of came to a head and a climax at the same point and exploded. And I was like, okay, I'm at my rock bottom. I don't have anywhere to live. I've fled from him. I was homeless. I had a newborn baby. I was just at the lowest of low. So that's where it's like when you're at rock bottom, you have nowhere else to go but up. So I just started with Google like everybody else. And from there, kind of went down a rabbit hole of self-help and really applied the techniques that I learned, taught myself how to do everything. And bought courses and just did everything that it took to get me to where I am now. So I learned how to speak differently. I learned etiquette. I learned new words. I changed my environment, went to networking events. I went to galas. I bought $200, $300, $400 tickets and dresses to go to these galas because I knew that my external environment, who you're around affects who you are and where you're going to get. So I physically lived this for the last 5 years and I experimented and I did different things and went different places. And from that, it actually worked, and it got me to this point to where I'm thriving and I'm doing really good, and I bought my dream car, and now I'm coaching and doing my dream job and helping other women. So now that I've done it and I've seen that it worked and I've lived it, I'm like, oh my God, I have to show this to somebody else. Like, you can do it too. I have to help you. It's totally possible. So that's kind of when it hit me and when I realized, and I'm like, okay, how can I give this information and this knowledge to other people? So I put it together in a little course. Online courses are all the rage right now. And I'm just giving it out, as much as I can, and helping people if they need step-by-step help, want me to hold their hand because I know how hard it is, or if they feel like they got it and they can do it themselves, they can do it with the course. So that's kind of how I got from there to here, and I just want to share it with everybody possible.
You're amazing. I love that you have come from there to here and pushed forward, and that you've just reimagined your whole life, basically flipped it on its head, and upgraded everything.
It's been a wild ride.
Oh, I believe it. So you were telling me about your 90-day program. How does that work?
So the course specifically, I call it a self-guided journey. I try to stay away from the word course. I don't know, it's a buzzword right now, but it really is a self-guided journey. I actually have a method. I call it an RBR method. So from rock bottom to rebirth. So you literally, in the first module, it's 3 modules. The first module, you do the deep inner work, the reflection, the journaling, the meditation, whatever it takes to figure out why you are at rock bottom in the first place. Like, there's a reason for that. Whether it's low self-esteem, which was my issue, low self-worth, mommy issues, daddy issues, whatever it is, we try to uncover that, fix that, go on to the second module, which is kind of rebuilding, learning the etiquette and learning how to carry yourself and how to dress differently and speak differently and act differently and all the things that'll propel you to be a better woman and therefore attract better opportunities and people, friends, not just romantic, but I mean, this applies to everything. And then in the last module, just really honing in on that and practicing what you preach or what I preach. So going to the events, walking in like you own the place, speaking eloquently, having these educated conversations with these CEOs and these presidents because you know that you belong there too, because your confidence is up because that's what we did in the last 2 modules. So just really living that life, embodying what you've learned, teaching you all the tips and tricks and how to find these people and how to find these places, because I didn't know that. Like, after I figured out how to be, I'm like, okay, now where do I go to do this? So how to find the nice places in your city, how to Google where to go, 5-star restaurants, 5-star hotels, going out, being confident to do it alone, a night out by yourself and just striking up conversations with people. So I kind of delve into all of that in detail with real actionable practical steps. I'm teaching myself. That's kind of how I teach. I speak to myself and who I was back then and what got me here. So because of that, I was busy, single mom, working, trying to rebuild, didn't have a lot of time, didn't have a lot of extra money. So I definitely made the course and the way I teach it as tangible and practical as possible, like straight to the point. I don't have time to sit here for 3 or 4 hours a day to listen to this course.
That's right.
I made it audible so that you can listen to it while you're driving to work. I do that a lot, or driving home. That's like my quiet alone time. So 30 minutes a day to work, 30 minutes a day back while you're doing laundry, while you're working out, whatever. That's how I absorbed a lot of the information that I learned the last few years. So I wanted to make it applicable to that, to just a busy working woman who doesn't have time. So no excuses, there's no excuses. If you really want to do it, you're going to do it. So that's what I wanted it to be. Yeah.
That's awesome. And even when you say your bold moves, like them going out and just having a meal by themselves or attending an event and all the amount of times that you go out and do that and people go, oh my God, you go out on your own. It's like, why wouldn't you?
Of course, get dressed, put on your makeup, straighten your shoulders, get your best shoes and your best purse. I learned how to walk properly, what colors to wear. There's a psychology behind it, what colors to wear to attract a certain type of person, a certain type of man, how to hold your purse, how to hold your bag. There's a lot that really goes into it. So I learned all of that. I invested in all of that and I did all of that and it freaking works.
They're not just a one-time investment either. Those things are a lifetime investment.
Yes.
purchase once, you experience it for the rest of your life. And that's the thing, is a lot of people aren't willing to invest in things, especially for themselves, because they don't see the value in it. But the value is that it's for you. It is for you long term, and it sits with you for the rest of your life. Even all of the courses and everything you've done to date, all of the things, including real estate, or even all of the things that I've done in my life, there comes a point where everything comes back full circle. And before that, you were thinking, why did I even waste my money on that? Why did I do all these things? But the thing is when you eventually get to this point, you're like, that's why I did all those things, because those things all connected the dots, and you ended up with this massive puzzle that you go, that's what it was. And fate aligns, because you just have all of this experience that has just come into play, and it all meets up at once. And you go, that's why I did this thing.
Yeah, that's why this happened. That's why I was in the terrible relationship. Without that, that's also part of the workings of the teaching. I accept that and I forgive him for that, because that has made me who I am. Without that, I wouldn't have this story to tell.
That's
and
right.
I wouldn't be able to help these other people. So you got to accept that too. Like, it's all there for a reason. It aligns, like you said.
It happened for you, not to you. But the thing is even when it feels like it happened to you, if you forgive but don't forget, you take the lesson out of it and you apply it in the next situation, and then grow from that. Because if you hold on to everything, you're just going to end up bitter and upset about everything.
Absolutely. That's the key. That right there is the key to growth, is just taking something from it and letting it go and learning from it.
You were talking about rebirth. What sort of rebirths have you seen from people?
Man, they range. I work with a lot of different people, but definitely just a lot of the times it's on the inside. You know, it's the work that you do on the inside. So whether it be having the confidence, like I said, to walk into a room and own it, or to speak at an event, or to go out solo, or to apply for the job, or ace the interview, or whatever, wherever they are in their life, that's kind of where the rebirth comes in, is just choosing who you want to be, not just letting life affect you and make you into somebody. You are totally able to create your own identity and be whoever you want to be. And there's an art to it. It does take work and strategy, which is kind of where the rebirth work comes in, but it's totally possible, completely realistic. And once you wrap your mind around that, like, these things are not far-fetched. They kind of, I don't know, society or school or whomever teaches you that, oh, that's not realistic. You can't be a NBA basketball. You know, like, why not though? Like, he is, and he took all, there's just steps that you have to take, and you have to have the confidence to do it. And that's really all it is. It's not as far-fetched as people think. So once you kind of grasp that, that's what I did. I'm like, me being this woman is really not that far-fetched.
No,
why can't I eat at a 5-star restaurant? And, you know, little known, unknown fact, I don't talk about a lot, but I was engaged for the last 2 years to a very successful millionaire real estate broker. I attracted him at the end of my journey. He came to me like a magnet, and I had to believe that I deserved that though before I could attract that. So it's all just the inner workings. It's a process, but definitely attract the love you want, get the job you want, go to the destination that you want, travel the way that you want to travel. Literally whatever you want, you can do it.
And that's what I love about this message as well, is that you can choose whether you're happy or sad. The thing is, you don't have to be what people tell you to feel about something, right? You don't have to be in the situation where you go, oh, geez, I think I should be sad about that. And it's like, no, how are you actually? And are you that because of something's been triggered in you? Or are you that because, you know, of a trait or whatever? Once you heal those things or choose to see the lesson in it and just the growth pattern instead, then you start to think positively about a lot of things. And once you start thinking positively, then everything seems to just flow a lot better.
Yes. And that's a big part of it too, is being very particular about your environment and who you're around, whether it's family members or friends or whatever. Like you're saying, like, I don't want to be around that. That's messing me up. Like, that's really part of the foundation, is changing your environment. I cut off friends of 20, 30 years, best friends, childhood friends, but they weren't where I wanted to be. And that's kind of part of the inner workings as well. You got to cut those people off. You got to cut off the dead weight. and make sure your environment is what you want to be. You got to change what you're looking at, who you follow on Instagram, what TV shows you watch, whatever you absorb in your brain, whatever you hear, the music that you listen to. It goes really deep, but you got to make sure it's all good and positive and it's going to get you to where you need to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. So with your 90-day action plan, is there a particular step system with that?
It aligns with my RBR method, although within that, in the questionnaire, I try to get it as extremely detailed as possible. So at the beginning of the questionnaire, you get to choose between 3 options of what you want to work on and what you want your result to be. Whether it's just the inner work, the self-confidence, then we focus on that. Or if it's outer appearance, then we focus on that. Or if it's finances, then we focus on that. And then from there, my questions are based off of what I guess you could call them pillars that you choose that you want to focus on. That way, we're not all over the place. Because, I mean, if you try to do it all in a 30-day time frame, that's not really realistic.
It's a lot, especially if you're healing.
Exactly. So I try to, get your focus on one thing and complete that. And then if you want to do another and another, you can. But just pick your biggest goal, and then we'll work on that from there.
Yeah. So do you find it hard to get honest answers out of people with your fill out form?
No. Oh my goodness. Like I was kind of saying earlier, a lot of people, I think, bottle this up and feel like they're so alone that once they reach me or find me, they just let it all out. It's like, oh my God, I found somebody that gets it. And I mean, even just in my DMs and emails that I get this long of emails, people telling me their story. They just want to let it out. And we haven't even met yet. These are just initial DMs that I get. So no, I really don't, because as women, nobody wants to be in this position. They all want out. And, they've been in it for a while, for years, 5, 10, 15 years. And they've held all of this in for so long that it's just that initial release of finding somebody that gets it and letting it out. It's really not hard to get people to open up because they want to anyway. They want to let all this out. They've been holding it in because they don't think anybody understands or wants to hear it, or all of the things that we believe are true. So no, it's really not hard to get them to open up and let them out. I love to hear their story, and people like to tell it. So
Isn't
definitely.
it amazing when you get good stories come through and you're just like, oh, it touches you.
Yes, it does. It just touches my soul. I have so many. I keep screenshots and I just read through them, and I'm just like, man, I'm doing the right thing. Clearly, this is needed.
You are helping a lot of people, and it's like a really special thing, I have seen a lot of good reviews for your workshop and everything. How do you find it with people and their stories of how they went from here to here and just their success or the way that they have come through the other side thanks to what you're doing?
I can't even put it to words the way it makes me feel. It's so fulfilling. Like, it fills a void within me. It's even helping me heal in ways that I didn't even know. I thought I was good already, but clearly I'm not. So yeah, just watching them go through their transformation and their journey. And, some women, like I was, are homeless, or they don't have anywhere to live, or they don't have a job and they don't know where to begin. And so to see them go from that to fixing their financial state, their credit, getting their first place on their own, budgeting. I have my own budget template that I actually use that I provide to them so they learn how to budget and pay their bills, and then from there invest. And it just goes on and on and on. And to watch somebody go through that and to see it actually work and they get their results, whether it be the love that they wanted to find or just the confidence that they wanted to have or their dream job, whatever it may be, to see them go through that transformation in real time is so fulfilling. It's indescribable.
I love that.
Yes.
How that's just
right?
It's so good.
Yes, it's amazing. And I'm actually helping people, helping people in a way that there's not enough help out there for people that need stuff like this. It's just, there's no free resources. Like whenever I was learning it, I had to pick and choose and piece it all together. Like I had to go here and get the therapy and go here and get the, financial whatever. Like there's no one place that you can get it all. This is really definitely something that's lacking.
There really isn't. And the thing is as well is for those services, you're paying a fortune for the help that you need while you're on like the bones, you just can't, there is nowhere else to go. And if you don't have the money because you're in that situation where you need to escape or you need to restart and everything else, what else is there? And that's the thing, they'll like send you to the domestic violence places where you can go and sleep, but that's sleep and eat. That's not the care that you need. And like, it would be good to know that there was a lot more people like you out there that were helping others for that exact reason. But you are doing amazing things, honestly. You're changing a lot of lives. I have seen a lot of your IG reviews where you've taken screenshots and posted them. And some of the feedback coming from people is amazing with the way that they feel or the way that you've helped them, with the way that they've just accomplished the course and all that kind of stuff. Is there any other direction you want to go from here? Like, is there a next level?
Definitely. I have big dreams because anything is possible, and I know that for a fact. So I envision myself as just a huge household name, keynote speaker. I want to go across the globe. I would love to come there and visit you. You're on my to-do list. I want to hold summits and retreats for these women at an affordable price. I want to hold those events and empower women, reach women that wouldn't normally be able to afford something like that or go to something like that. And just change as many women's lives and rebuild their confidence as humanly possible.
That's amazing. And there are online ways of doing that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have one potentially coming up next year. So fingers crossed.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll be cheering you on.
Thank you.
If you often get a question in your inbox saying, do you offer this or do you help with this? What do they usually ask?
So I get two of those often. On the financial side, I get tons and tons of inquiries for that. So I've created a few small products here and there for like self-guided credit repair and the budget sheet that I share. I don't go too deep into that. I may add it, or create something separate in the future. And another interesting one that I get, which, like I said, I don't talk about it a lot. I don't like to brag, but hypergamy. Like I said, I have been engaged to a very successful, wealthy man. And that is something that I learned and taught myself the last few years as well. I actually bought hypergamy courses. I purchased courses and did the research specifically on hypergamy. And it's not so much as, it's not about money, but it's just being with a man a high value man
setting the bar higher.
Yeah, that embodies more than just finances or money. It's about a lifestyle. It's about a mental, the way he thinks and moves and handles things and runs his business. It's so much deeper than that. And obviously, it's going to change my lineage. It's going to, be better for my daughter. It's going to open more doors for her and my grandkids and later on down the line. And that's how I think about it. Whenever I mention it here and there, I always get a huge reaction like, what do you mean? How did you do that? Tell me more. How'd you meet him? Where'd you find him? So that's something that I may explore in the future, maybe specifically hypergamy dating or matchmaking. I've thought about matchmaking. So I don't know. We'll see where that kind of takes me, but it's definitely fun. It's the more fun, less serious aspect of it all. It's kind of what you do after you've healed and you're like, okay, now I'm her. Now I'm ready. What's next? Like, let's keep going. Yeah.
So where did you find him?
Well, ironically, he was my real estate broker.
Get out.
Yes, he was my broker in my office. We worked together for a while. He was at a new office that I started at. I changed offices, which is kind of where the magnetism came in because I was just doing my own thing and I was in a really good place. I was really happy. I was good in my business, with myself, with my body. I've probably invested $20,000, not just physically, but the courses and that sort of thing. I have no shame in my game. I've gotten Botox and fillers and I maintain that. I've gotten surgeries. I've done all the things because your appearance is 50, 75% of it too.
People judge you before they speak to you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. The exterior is everything, and it's all about how you carry yourself. And also, if you look good, you feel good. So that's definitely high on my list. I have a self-care Friday every week where I spend time with myself, whether it's nails, mani, pedi, hair, whatever. I make time for that. And it shows. So that's kind of what happened. I was at a new office and he was there, and he kind of just came to me one day, and he was intrigued by me and my energy. And he told me that. And so he kind of started probing here and there, wanted to get to know me and what I did. And I was kind of doing the credit repair at the time. So he was interested in that for his clients. And we just kind of hit it off from there. Obviously, we had the real estate in common, and we had similar interests, being entrepreneurs and business owners. And it flourished from there. So yeah, it happened naturally. And that's what I always wanted. I hate dating apps. I hated going out looking for somebody. Yeah, whenever I met somebody, I wanted it to happen naturally, like at the grocery store, at the gas station. Like, I just want something normal. I don't want to be out here prospecting and something like that. I was minding my own business. Here he came, and that's how it happened. And that's the best way to do it. You become that magnetic woman and you radiate that energy, therefore you attract a better man.
Yeah, we just got to put the RBF down.
Yeah, that's it. You got to work on that.
Yeah,
that's hard part. I need to add that to the lesson. How to turn that off.
That is like an issue. It's like your face has subtitles and you forget.
Right? I know. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Oh,
I have them too. It's rough.
So from where you came, can you just briefly describe, because I didn't want you to revisit the whole thing, what did that picture look like? Just looking at how far you've come now is incredible.
I am fine now talking about it in detail. It took me the whole 5 years to get here. Before, whenever I would tell my story, I couldn't speak without crying. And that took a long time for me to get to this point. But that's kind of part of the inner work that you do anyway. You just accept it for what it was. So I'm totally fine talking about it within detail. It doesn't bother me.
This is not for me digging. I want to show you guys, the listeners, how far somebody can come from being in such a situation and then turning everything on its head and coming the complete positive direction and turning their life the right way around for themselves.
Yeah, it's possible, and I'm living proof. So I'll try to keep it brief, but long story short, I was living alone. I was in a big city. I was doing really well in my career. And then this guy came along, pursued me for a really, really long time before I even entertained him, 5 years to be exact. I was never interested in him, and that was red flag number one. Now I know that. But anyway, finally broke me down, gave him a chance, and within 3 months, he was living with me and I was pregnant.
Whoa.
And that's red flag number two. That's where the love bombing comes in. He love bombed the hell out of me those first 3 months. He pursued me for 5 years, so he took advantage whenever he got me, and he just went all in. So I'm talking cooking dinner's ready whenever I get home, candlelit dinners, candlelit baths. He would run me baths. He would give me a full body massage. He would have fresh flowers every week. Everything that I loved, even down to music playing in the background. He would make sure, he was always playing music that I loved, or we would paint or go on picnics, like all the cheesy, corny stuff that women like. He did. And I just lost it. I was completely in love. And that was just within the first 3 months. So let my guard down.
Call it Prince Charming.
Yeah, definitely.
In the Red Flags books.
And that's exactly what he was. He studied me prior to getting with me, and therefore he became like a chameleon, the type of man, my dream guy. And at the time, something that I really wanted was obviously a family and a husband. I wanted to be married. I wanted, the American dream. So he played on that as well. So he would sign up for these meet and greets and these Eventbrite meetings for married couples or pre-marriage counseling. Like, he went He was like, oh, we need to cut off all our friends and only hang out with other married couples. And we did
red
that.
flag number 3.
Right? And we did that. And I followed his lead and we started going out with other married couples. And while we were out, he'd be like, oh, watch them and study them. And we need to be like them. Like, he went deep with it. So, of course, I was smitten and I thought we were getting married. I was like, okay, this is it. This is my guy. We're going to get married. He's the one. So I'm in love. I let my guard down, get pregnant, which was part of the setup as well. I won't go too far into that. But anyway, got pregnant. And then the day that I told him I was pregnant, I remember I had the little pregnancy test and I gave it to him. And his reaction was horrible. And we got into a huge fight. And he picked me up and he body slammed me on the ground outside.
Was that the first time?
That was the first time, the day that I told him I was pregnant. And he was like, what is it, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or Mr. You know what I mean? Like, he just totally showed me his mask came off. That's what they call it. His mask slipped. And that was the real him. And it was consistent from that day forward. Just the physical abuse was honestly right off the bat. And he did it all the way through my pregnancy up until I was 9 months pregnant. Me being pregnant was not a factor. He didn't care. So I had complications with the birth and with the baby because of that. He would choke me until I passed out, couldn't breathe. She would stop moving in my stomach. And a lot of the times the physical abuse would come whenever I was trying to leave him. Or trying to break up with him or trying to get out of it. He made sure I was really isolated, even down to he would leave for days at a time and take the chargers from the house, from the phones, for the computers. So I would have no access to anything, no food, no nothing. Like it went pretty far. But anyway, it got pretty rough towards the end of my pregnancy. It got really bad at one point where we were outside and we got in an argument in the car and he pulled me out of the car. I was, big, huge pregnant, pulled me out of the car by the top of my hair, ripped out a big patch of hair right here, and dragged me down the gravel road by my hair on my back. And then after it was over with, we fought and everything. But after it was over with, he was like, get back in the car, clean yourself up, get dressed. We're going to my parents' house. And I did it. Like, I cleaned myself up, no questions asked. And the whole time in my head, I'm kind of like two different people. Like, I'm the real me, and then I'm the abused me. And I'm looking at myself like, what are you doing?
What are you
like,
doing?
Yeah. Yes, like, this is not you. Like, what? And that's kind of
yourself. Why are you still here? Why are you still putting up with that? But then at the same time, you're going, but if I don't do this, then this will happen. Yeah.
That my daughter's not going to have a dad. I go through the same thoughts everybody else does. She's not going to have a dad. She's not going to have a family. We're not going to have a nice home. Throughout all of this abuse, he still made sure it was up and down. So after we had a fight, the next day he would bring me flowers and take me to go look at houses, or rings. He made sure it was hot and cold. I was messed up. My head was messed up. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't complete a task. I ended up quitting my job. It's the mental, honestly, is worse than the physical, in my opinion, because that's what lingers and that's what you have to work so hard on for so long to get rid of, those thoughts.
Flashbacks and the questioning whether it was you that was crazy or,
Exactly. That's the hard part. So that moment, that day was kind of when it hit me, and I was stuck too, because there was financial abuse, which is something that people don't talk a lot about. He was taking all of my money. He made sure I had none in my pocket. Every paycheck I got, he pulled it out of the account immediately. He would take my card out of my purse when I was sleeping, or whatever money I had in there when I was sleeping. He would make sure my account was always empty. So that day, whenever that happened, I had no money. I had to do what he said. We were in another state from where we lived. We were visiting his family. And as that was happening and I was cleaning myself up and I was looking at the patch on my hair and I was like, oh my God, I have a literally bald spot right there in my head. And I was pulling clumps of hair out and I'm changing my clothes and I'm big and pregnant. And I'm thinking like, okay, even if I wanted to escape and leave right now, I was so isolated. I had nobody that I could call to help me. He had destroyed relationships with my friends and family, and I had no money. I had a full-time job and I made good money. We had a nice house, 2 cars, and I had not $1 to my name. I couldn't leave if I wanted to. I could walk, and that was about it. So that's when it hit me. Like, I just kind of sat there for a minute and looked at where I was at, and I was like, man, this is not going to work. Like, for my kid, like I was about to give birth.
Well, imagine if you married for like 30 plus years, you know, in that situation.
I can't imagine. Like I can't fathom that, being in a relationship like that for that long. It's really hard, but I did it. I gave birth. I fleed when I was 9 months pregnant. And because of that, where I went to Colorado to live with a family member. And whenever I gave birth in the hospital, they opened up a CPS case on me, which is, Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
As soon as she was born, I was back in my room and, I just had her. She was like this big. And here they come in my room questioning me, CPS, because I had fleed 9 months pregnant. And that was a huge, red flag for them, for the state. And of course, I was on Medicare and Medicaid and all the things because I didn't have any money. So they watched me really close for a very long time. And I kind of had a battle with them. And they could have taken her away from me because of my circumstances. I didn't have money. I didn't have a home. I didn't have anything. Luckily, that didn't happen. But that was something that I faced immediately after, which was another wake-up call. And I'm like, man, this is not me. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. Like, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, a week after I gave birth to her, I was on it. I was exercising. I was researching. I was doing all the things. And 5-6 years later, here I am.
That's amazing how far you've come, like, since then, because that is a big trauma. That is a huge trauma. And like 3 months to move in, that's like a major red flag.
He's very good at what he does, let me tell you.
So he's left you alone since moving to Colorado?
You want another interesting part of the story is he is now in prison for sex trafficking and kidnapping because he did the same thing to about 20 other women after we broke up. So he's got a federal case right now. He's, thank God, in jail. He hasn't been sentenced yet. It's been this whole 5 years he's been in jail going through trials and that sort of thing. But he has so far been booked on like 10 counts of sex trafficking and kidnapping.
And I think it's stomach drop.
Yeah, I know. And it's sad that that person is my daughter's dad, but whatever. I try not to think about that. But it's very comforting for me.
But he's not.
No, absolutely not. And that's all the more reason why I want to marry a better man, right? To protect me from that and to never have to deal with that again. That leads into the hypergamy and why I was attracted to that. So it all comes together. But yeah, so luckily he's there. He's going to be there for a really long time, hopefully forever. And that gives me a lot of peace of mind because
how did you meet him?
We're from the same hometown. Yep. We just kind of knew of each other, and yeah, he spotted me, and he saw nothing but me for 5 years. He was relentless. It was crazy. And so yeah, I finally let my guard down, gave him a chance, and he just took hold of it and ran with it. And here we are. Now I'm here. But at least I am who I am. I've got a good story to tell. I've gained so much from it. Because of that, I had to move back in with family. I had detached from them. I was isolated from them. So I've been able to rebuild my relationship with my parents and my siblings. Right. Yeah, it's really good. My daughter has been able to live with her grandparents for the first 5 years of her life, which is awesome for any kid. They have gotten really close and we've rebuilt our relationship. It's rebuilt my confidence and all the self-worth issues that I had, the issues that I have with my parents. So that's all been part of my healing journey too. So I've gotten a lot from it, unfortunately. So I give him no credit, but if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here. So it is what it is.
I mean, thanks for the lesson, but also, know.
Right.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, it's terrible. And it's like, man, I don't want to give him any more credit for anything. He deserves no credit. Like, I don't even want to give it to him for this, but
there's no credit here. This is all your story and how far you've come. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And like to everyone listening as well, for you to turn everything on its head and just completely upend everything and go, no, I'm no longer that person. That person is in the past. She is not me. I have moved on. And like you were telling me how, you go to country clubs and all this kind of stuff before you met your partner.
Yeah.
And, to level up your game and everything. What did your day-to-day look like while you were in your leveling up?
Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun, and I still do everything too. Luckily, had I guess a little bit of an advantage because I was a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of in those. I would go to networking events and open houses and that sort of thing. So that really opened the doors for me. But I still did it on my own, even when I wasn't showing houses or selling houses. I would just on the weekends have nothing planned. I would take my daughter with me and get dressed up, put on my swimsuit. And it was fun. I felt like I was playing dress up because I would dress in ways that I wouldn't normally dress, right? So I'm wearing these big beach hats, those big floppy beach hats.
Yeah.
I would have never worn that before, but I wanted to feel fancy. And I would put on, this beautiful swimsuit and this beautiful cover up, the long flowy cover ups. I put on everything that I felt was way overkill. Like it was way too much for me, for my normal me. But I did it anyway. And I walked in there like I owned the place and I fit in just because of what I had on. And we would spend the day at the pool and I would talk to people and get to know people. And I made it a point to do that, once or twice a month. And if I wanted to go out to the bar, I didn't go to the bars that I used to go to. I went to a 5-star restaurant and sat at that bar, or I went to a 5-star hotel and sat at that bar. And I would strike up conversations. I even have scripts and talking points of how to talk to these people. I would strike up conversations, with somebody that would not have given me the time of day before. The man in the 3-piece suit, tailored suit with, drinking whatever he's drinking, sitting by himself. I would go over and talk to him. And those are the things that I did on a regular basis. I quit getting gas at the gas station around the corner from my house. I would drive across town to the nice part of town and make sure I got gas there. Grocery shopping. I didn't go to the grocery store by my house. I made sure to make sure my environment I was surrounded. I immersed myself with, yes. So I would even, I had access. I was a realtor. I had access to houses and listings and I could go in by myself. I went to the $1 million houses and I would just walk around and, record videos. It was probably weird. If somebody saw me, they would have thought it was weird. But I did. I went to $1 million+ houses and I would just immerse myself in the house and picture myself there. And 5 years later, my fiance, I'm in this house. He's got a house just like that. I'm driving a BMW. I got my dream car. I did it all. I'm lounging at his pool by his house. He's got a maid that comes every Saturday and a cook and a chef that comes. And that's my real life now. And I did that in 5 years because I immersed myself and I just, even though it felt weird and stupid, I did it anyway. And that's how you manifest, is by feeling it and experience it for real. So that's part of it too. It was fun. Yeah, I get to play dress up and, it was just fun.
Oh, that's what they say. Dress how you want to be addressed. And the thing is if you're wearing the outfits that, make you feel classy or, just elevate your look a little bit more. And that's the thing is once you start elevating, then everything starts to match it.
Absolutely. It's simple.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Girl, the amount of growth that you've gone through and how far you've come, it's amazing. And
it's funny how rock bottom will make you do that. And I needed that, I was literally homeless. I've stayed in a few shelters and some more stuff. I would get my food from a food pantry every week, WIC, food stamps, the whole thing. And 5 years later, here I am. But that was my motivation. I knew that wasn't me. And every time I went to the food pantry, some of the food would have mold on it, like some of the, some of it would be expired, but I didn't have any other choice. I would cut around the mold and eat the part that didn't have the mold. It got down to the nitty gritty of that. And those type of experiences will make you never want to do that again, will make you do outrageous things like playing dress up and going to the country club, because I don't ever want to eat moldy food or feed my baby moldy food again from the food pantry, know? So
without the job title, it's like a whole Pretty Woman thing, you come from here and you just accelerated all the way through and it's just like, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a good analogy. I love that. I never thought about that. It is. That's exactly what it is.
Do you know what? It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, or what your job title is, or, anywhere that you are. If you are on the lowest part of any scale in your life, then the only way is up. And the thing is, a lot of people shut down and go, there's nowhere to go from here. And it's like, it is. You've just got to reframe your mind and have your mindset to be, just tapered in to where you want to head and head that direction. But that's what you've done. You have just picked a point. This is where I want to go. And you've just narrowed in on it.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you've come so far. So for anybody who is listening now, what would you want to tell them is possible for them to accomplish?
Anything they want. It's quantum physics. If you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, I always joke and say my religion is quantum physics. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'm totally a nerd when it comes to that stuff, but it's the truth. It's a scientific proven fact. You can literally do anything you want. You exist in all parallel realities as every version of yourself you could be. You just need to tune your frequency to match that person and you become her. So yeah, anything. They can have or be or do anything that they want to do. You just got to do it.
That was literally what they were saying when they say manifest what you want.
Huh?
When you watch the film The Secret, all of that was based around the same concept. And
Absolutely.
Everyone's just like, oh, believe it and it'll happen. It's like, no, you have to do a little more than that.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of work. But it's real though. It's really, that's something else that I kind of infused into what I teach is that's all you got to do, just believe it, but you got to take action. Like you said, there's a little bit more that you have to do, but as long as your actions align with that and you stick to that, you'll get there. That's it.
So what is your next goal from here? What does your next 5 years look like?
My next 5 years is to become a huge keynote speaker and get my story heard across the freaking globe. That was I have an interview actually this week on Wednesday for a global summit to be a keynote speaker. So fingers crossed that'll be my first one. Yes, thank you. But that's what I want to do. I want to be global. I want to make connections and friendships and build relationships like this one, with people from all over the world. My business coach lives in Dubai. He's awesome. I would love to go visit him as well and just travel and make this knowledge and information accessible to me, who I was 5 years ago, and then just infuse it into people's brain that it's possible. It's totally doable. You just have to do it. That's it.
So you're still visiting the country club on weekends?
Yes, I do. I maintain that. I still go to the country club. Yes, I still go to the 5-star restaurants by myself and network and talk to people and make friends and pass out my business card. I do the whole thing. You can't stop. You got to maintain it. It's really fun. It's almost like acting in a movie. And then if you keep doing it over time, it becomes real. Because then you might make a real friend at the country club and y'all get really close. And then you start going to her house and she lives in this big mansion. And it's just a snowball effect from there. And then you meet somebody there at her house or she invites you to this event. And, it just goes from there and it turns into the real thing. So
that's what they say. Surround yourself with who you want to be and you'll become the sixth one.
Absolutely. And that's how it works, for sure.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for talking to the people and letting them know where you come from and how you've accelerated through this last 5 years. I mean, there is so much potential for ongoing things. But yeah, that's an impressive story. You have come so far.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Business Talent Success. If today sparked something in you, remember you can bring your vision to life with our powerful tools and resources. Build the business you've been dreaming of, starting now. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss a moment of inspiration. And be sure to check out our upcoming magazine, packed with insights, real stories, and strategies to fuel your success. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep igniting your purpose.